Swadika, and good afternoon, and welcome back to the English language summary of the daily press briefing, live from the Center for COVID-19 Situation Administration, or the CCSA. And today's briefing is for Thursday, the 5th of August, 2021. And I'd like to first of all thank Dr. Apisamay for the summary of the CCSA operational meeting this morning. Allow me to start with an update on the number of vaccines that have been administered in Thailand since the beginning of our national vaccination campaign. So until yesterday, we have administered in total 19 million doses of vaccines already. And yesterday, it was an additional of 383,607 doses of vaccines. Let me move along now and mention some very good news, because this global pandemic has experienced inequitable access to vaccines, and therefore we continue to promote international cooperation to enable more equal access to vaccines all over the world. And at the same time, that's why we are truly grateful for the kind assistance that we have received from our friends worldwide. Yesterday, we received a donation of 415,040 doses of COVID vaccines, and these are AstraZeneca vaccines from the United Kingdom government. And we can see on the slide now representatives from both the British side and the Thai side receiving the handover of these valuable vaccines. And I can assure you that the AstraZeneca vaccines will be distributed to those most in need to help save lives of both Thais and foreigners residing in Thailand. We deeply appreciate all these goodwill donations as well as cooperation that will help increase access to vaccines for most vulnerable groups as soon as possible. So you can see here in the slide we have our Foreign Minister Kundan Pramat Vinay meeting with the Ambassador of England. Now, while I'm on the topic of vaccines, allow me to give you also an update on the number of foreigners residing in Thailand who have received vaccines already. So the number we have here is a report from the Department of Disease Control and is dated to the 30th of July. The total number of foreigners who have received vaccines now stands at 280,075 doses. And this figure includes wide categories of foreigners living in Thailand, and these are also diplomatic corps, representatives of international organizations, the foreign media, expats, the foreign residents, and also especially those who are aged over 60, as well as migrant workers, as these are all in high risk groups. And the average age of vaccinated foreigners is about 38 years of age, and they cover 174 nationalities residing in Thailand. Of this number, 74,587 persons have completed both doses of vaccines. And we have heard and we acknowledge some concerns that we haven't been able to cover the elderly and those with underlying medical conditions first, because they've noticed that the median age is quite low at 38. So allow me to clarify that this reason is because most of foreigners foreigners who have been vaccinated include migrant workers as well. And of course, migrant workers are much lower aged. And the reason is because these are also among the high-risk groups, because we have had clusters of infections in construction sites and factories, and migrant workers belong in those locations. And also many of them are also healthcare volunteers who have helped us work with migrant workers. So now let me bring you another update. We mentioned earlier, since Monday, that the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, in cooperation with the Ministry of Public Health, have launched a new registration platform for foreigners, foreign nationals, to register for vaccination. And this particular platform is open to foreign nationals residing in Thailand all over the country and of all age groups. And this website is called expatvac.consular.go.th, and of course you can scan the QR code on the screen as well to access this website. So we encourage all foreign nationals to register for their first dose of vaccine as soon as possible. And the statistics right now, since we launched this website since the 1st of August, so since until the 3rd of August, we've had more than 35,000 persons who have registered with this particular website. If you've not registered yet, please visit the website and read for more information there. Priority, of course, will be given to vulnerable groups for the appointments. And these are, of course, based on the same criteria for Thai nationals. That is, you will be given, priority will be given to elderly people, for pregnant women, and those with underlying chronic diseases. As for those foreign nationals who age 60 to 74 who have previously registered with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs platform beforehand, you don't need to worry because all of your information will be transferred to this new website. And of course, you will be notified of the dates and vaccination sites for you yourself via email. And once again, on this platform, you will be given a notification of your appointments, and please remember when you arrive at the vaccination site to bring proof of confirmation of your appointment, as well as proof of your identification, which could be your passport or any other official document. And of course, we acknowledge that on the first day of the launching of this platform, some problems were reported in accessing this website, and we appreciate that many of you have informed us immediately, which has enabled us to address these problems, as well as any privacy data concerns. And this brings me to another important point that I mentioned earlier. It's very important to have two-way communication with the public, as well as the help that we have received from many foreign embassies in Thailand who have helped relay our information for vaccination to the expat community in Thailand. So please continue to give us any suggestions and report any problems to us either via your embassies or directly to our Ministry of Foreign Affairs social media accounts. And you can see these social media account handles on the screen right now. So now allow me to report on the statistics that we have reported today on daily confirmed cases. Unfortunately, we have reached a new high, both in terms of new confirmed cases as well as fatalities. So the new confirmed cases today stands at 20,920 cases. We have today number of active cases or patients that are currently being treated standing at 213,910 cases. We have a good number of recoveries today, standing at 17,926. And of course, I regret that we have to report the number of new fatalities, this is not a new high, standing at 160. And about 90% of this number are, as we have mentioned before, the elderly plus those who have had underlying medical conditions. And this is why we continue to give priority of vaccinating to persons in these high-risk groups. So as Dr. Apisamai mentioned just now, at the CCSA meeting, since we've been seeing increasingly more new infections on a daily basis, the CCSA has readjusted resources to work with both civil societies and private sectors to help treat patients under home isolation and community isolation schemes. We've now over 100,000 patients who have been admitted to the community isolation system. In Bangkok alone, we have about 64 community isolation sites, and about 43% of asymptomatic patients or patients with mild symptoms have been admitted to this system. And we have expanded these to even temples and other communities all over the country who are ready to assist. We also have to mention that private hospitals have stepped up and assisted the government sector in establishing community isolation units all over the country, including hospitals that are fully furnished with or equipped with intensive care units as well. And this would greatly help lessen the burden of the healthcare system, and therefore hospitals and medical personnel will be freed and given more time to take care of patients with other ailments. So as the infection rate in Thailand is still on the rise, I would like to reiterate that this is a crucial time for us all, and we should remain compassionate and help one another during these trying times, just as we have had overwhelmingly helpful cooperation from local communities and the private sector all over the country. And we remind our foreign community, our foreign national audience today to be mindful and to strictly observe public health precautions as much as possible. We hope you stay vigilant and keep social distancing as much as you can. We hope you stay at home and register for your vaccine as soon as possible. And we hope that you remain hopeful that this situation will improve, and we should remain positive and encourage one another. On the last note, I'd like to encourage everyone to revisit the thailandintervac.com website to check latest details on other alternative options for vaccinations. And although this website no longer accepts registrations for vaccinations, however, you will find the latest updates on vaccination options for foreign nationals there. So that's all I have for you today. I thank you very much for your kind attention, and I hope that you have a good rest of the week, and we'll see you again on Monday. ขอบคุณค่ะ สวัสดีค่ะ
ขอบคุณค่ะคุณเพ็ญโสมเลิศสิทธิชัยนะคะผู้อำนวยการกองประมวลและวิเคราะห์ข่าวกรมสารนิเทศกระทรวงการต่างประเทศ